Good morning. Welcome to Walking Away Book Club. Still on question 2. We're cranking through to question 7, which is, how does choice or volition depend upon thought and feeling? Why can't we just change our will? Volition or choice is the exercise of will, the capacity of the person to originate things and events that would not otherwise be or occur. By originate here, we mean to include the two of the things most prized in human life: freedom and creativity. These are really two aspects of the same thing when properly understood, which is the power to do what is good or evil. So that is the will.
There's a quote where he says, "Thus there is more to the mind than to the spirit," and in parentheses, heart/will. Okay. I think I can understand it that way to be
the non-physical, like the heart being the non-physical part of the person, which includes mind and will.
Which would be similar
so thoughts, feelings, and choices.
To the direction
in
which we're going.
Yeah.
The heart being
that thing which directs the whole person, and the direction coming from the office of willpower or choice.
So that's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
How does
choice,
particular choices affect that?
Or how is it affected by thought and feeling?
So we take in information about our surroundings,
which is the nucleus of thought.
Thoughts and feelings.
And so we take data from our environment and the rest of our person, our body, our social context, the physical world around us. And then we have feelings about those things, like we are inclined towards them or away from them. So say we have, music is a great example. We have taste about music. We are inclined, we have feelings about it, we have inclinations towards or against certain kinds of music. I like death metal, Dustin hates death metal. I'm inclined towards it, Dustin is inclined away from it. That's fine, that's perfectly okay. That inclination plus the reality of the music itself provides an opportunity to choose things about it. So because if there's death metal on, because I like death metal, the choice that I'm going to make is I'm going to turn the volume up to an absolutely obnoxious level. Dustin's actions, if he hears death metal, like he apprehends the reality of the death metal, and he's inclined against it, does not like it. His action is going to be to change the song. So we have thoughts, we have information, we make inferences about that information, and we have inclinations towards or against feelings about the information that we are gathering, the experiences that we have. And it is those things that inform our ability to choose. So the choice is a direct result of the thought and feeling scape that we exist in. So if you don't have thoughts, if you don't have information or the inferences that you make thereby, it's impossible to have feeling because there's nothing to feel about. If you don't have feeling, you can't act because there's no inclination to do so. And so the sort of humanistic rationalism, the project of that is actually anti-human in its goal, because it's trying to divorce human will and action from the office of feeling. And it can't be done. You cannot choose to do things unless you are inclined to or away from things. And so really what the rationalist is trying to do is dehumanize himself by taking the organ of feeling out. And Lewis talks about this a lot. Most clearly in The Abolition of Man, but most poignantly in That Hideous Strength. And we'll choose the narrative one because it's more fun. But the project of the NICE, which is a fictitious British Institute of Research, is to do just that, is to create the perfect human by completely divorcing his decision making from the organ of feeling, to completely replace inclination and reality with pure logic and reason. And the result is just horror. It is just terrible. It's the worst thing ever. They literally make, like, they take a severed head of a criminal and re-embody it with Satan. And like that's what you can get at without the office of feeling, is you can arrive at these absolute horrors, man-made horrors beyond your comprehension. Because the assumptions that are bound up in human feeling are dispensed with. And that's really where the feeling piece is, where foundation interacts with, or assumption interacts with, the thoughtscape. So your feelings are the closest you can get to your fundamental assumptions, is the way you feel about things. And that those fundamental assumptions act as the filter through which you interpret the reality, your thoughts. And without any fundament, like any assumption, no foundation, you just go insane. You can do anything, can be justified by pure reason without the basis of really any assumption. If you just divorce your decision-making process from any fundamental assumptions, you can just do whatever, and that's fine. And you won't realize that what's actually happening is you've debased yourself. You've become less than a man. In so doing, you become an animal who purely runs on instinct, and you're just totally unaware of it.
All while thinking you're more a man.
Yeah, by thinking you're rationalized and justified in so doing.
Which answers why we can't just change our will.
Yeah, because that's just not how reality exists. To try and change the choice without providing better information or changing the feelings that we have, the fundamental assumptions that we bring to reality and that we filter everything we experience through. Just nonsense to try and do that. It's just like there's no way to connect those things together and like make choices without having data upon which to act in the form of thought, or inclinations towards or against those things in the form of feelings, which are how we bring the assumptions that underlie our reality to bear in the reality that we experience.
So this is like the interplay between our thoughts and feelings, logos, pathos, and how they interact together, and we discern between the two with wisdom as a almost divine.
I would say
divine logos between those two.
I don't necessarily think
our way.
that we use wisdom to discern the difference between them. I think we use wisdom to change specifically the feeling. Well, both of them actually. So we change our assumptions, the fundamental assumptions we bring, like we filter reality through, by wisdom, and we choose the data that we supply ourselves by the same thing. So we wisely choose what information we allow into our being, and we update the fundamental assumptions that we bring to reality and filter it through. And again, that brings the circle back, because we choose those things. We use wisdom to choose the thoughts we have, and to a lesser extent, but still it's a choice, the feelings that we have and the fundamental assumptions that inform those feelings by thought. So again, it's all will moving upstream into, we'll say, the reality of our mental landscape. And it's a positive feedback loop where right feeling, good information produces good will, good character, which chooses wisely, as you said, good information good assumptions to filter reality through, which then improves the will, which improves the thoughts and the feelings, which improves the will. And we just that. Mm-hmm. And then our bodies die and we get to go to heaven and we're perfect. And that process has been completed. And on that absolute piece of gloriousness, I think we're going to end. Thank you and have a blessed week.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Walk in the Way Book Club. Please like, comment, and share this video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content. We can't wait to see you in the next one. God bless.